Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Get certified. For those of you who don't know my name is Menak and I'm your guide for your next ABAP certification course. So, in this video, we are going to talk about the repository information system from where we left in the last video, which was a repository browser. So, just before we begin the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like the video so that you get updated videos into your device and you can regularly follow the videos which I upload. So let's get right into it. So we already talked about what is repository browser and the different functionalities. In this video we are going to cover about the repository information system. So well, it is a browser which is used to basically search repository objects in the SAP system. Well, this is what the initial screen looks like. It displays basically a hierarchical list of all the categories of the repository objects in the SAP system, and basically it also provides, as you can see, a selection screen which is used to select your data and actually show the result into the tool area. So let's take up any one of the repository objects. Let's take up a map dictionary, and for that matter, let's take up table types, or let's take up data elements, which makes a little more sense. And it has a selection screen which is provided to you, and these are the search criteria based on which you can actually sort the data and search for data dictionary objects or programs by specifying the search criteria on the selection screen. So this is an example of what a standard selection would look like. You can also customize the selection screen of the repository information system by actually going to the menu, edit, and I believe, yeah, there you go. You have settings right about here, and then you can actually you can actually give your personalized number of hits meaning how many data you want to show at one point of time, and then you have the standard selection criteria, you have all selection criteria, and then you have a user specific variant which is defined by you, and the system will take up that variant and will display only that many number of columns. So we have this selection screen option, and then we have this option, which is all selection. So this button you can use to display all the selection criteria for the object by clicking on this. So it displays all those selection criteria which are available by SAP system. So there you go. For having more selection criteria, you can click right about here, and then you have all the selection criteria, and well, you can specify the search criteria for the repository object in the selection screen and execute. I do not have any particular data, but well, you can in your own system you can enter your search criteria, and the system actually displays the search result in the tool area of the object in the navigator. I hope you know what a tool area is. I already talked about it in the previous video. If not, you can go back to the previous video where I explained the different terminologies which are used for a repository browser. You can also select the object from the search result and display the various list of the object if required, and then you can double click on it to look at the object itself in the appropriate tool. So well, I mean, this tool is as you might find of not that great use for now, but guys, this is a really helpful tool to display the available enhancement in the SAP system, which we are going to talk about in the later chapters. So you can search for both the definition and the implementation of the enhancement with this tool. You can actually filter your selection of enhancement by application component or package, and then you can search for business add-ins, so customer exits, enhancement implementations, and enhancement definitions. We'll have a detailed look into the enhancement and modification in the later half of this video series, where I'll talk in greater depth of what is enhancement and how you can implement it. And then let's go to the next next topic. Let's have a look. So we talked about repository information system, and let's talk about Workbench settings. So well, you can configure the ABAP a Workbench to change its look and functionality. So let's go to the repository browser and let's have a sample program ready to, so that we can actually have a look based on our changes how the ABAP Workbench looks like. So the ABAP Workbench you can configure from the path. You can go to utilities, and then you can click on settings, and then the Workbench settings are well user specific, and therefore it will not affect any other users in the system. So remember, the object navigator can display only up to 8 browsers at a time. You can select the number of the browser selection checkbox for the browser that you are currently not going to use very often within the Workbench settings. You also have the option to configure the ABAP editor settings for that matter, which will give you an option to select between the new front-end editor, the old front-end editor, or the standard standard text-based editor, and customize the settings. You also have the option to set your default ABAP debugger, which we are going to talk later what is a debugger, but for now understand that ABAP debugger is a tool used to debug your code. So ABAP, so SAP provides you with a tool to help you debug your code, which is called an ABAP debugger. So we can we have the option to set our debugger to either the default ABAP debugger or the class or to the classic to either the classic or the new ABAP debugger. So there you go, and this is the option of the printer. So this helps you in the beautification of the code. So what it basically means is it'll you can select an option if your keywords are either in lowercase, uppercase, or in different options. So you can use the split screen option, which helps you to view parts of the code and the same part of the code into multiple screens. So debugging. So we can either use the classical or the new debugger. For all those you guys who are more comfortable with the older version, you can select by default which ABAP debugger will open, and then you have patterns of you to actually directly execute, for example, function modules. The SAP will will give you a template, and then you can put on the import and export value. So as you can see, there are a lot of options which you can which you can make based on your needs and based on your usability, and make sure that this specifications are only customized for you. So any other person, any other user, as a matter of fact, on the same system will not be affected by this. So as I was telling you, there are ABAP unit test browser, ATC. Oh, great! So we have the options. So I thought we did not have in the previous video where I explained to you what was an ABAP unit test browser and ATC browser. So I talked a little bit about this for you, which is used for validation and quality checking of your ABAP code. So yeah, so this is what is your Workbench settings, which you can use to customize your navigation browser. Let's talk a little bit about the ABAP editor. We have a front-end editor. We have a source code mode, which is the new one, and front-end editor we have the plain text mode, which is the old one. And of course, all of these three editors are fully compatible and interchangeable, meaning the source code created in one of the editor can be viewed by all of the modes. So yeah, so this was what the BAP editor looked like, and let's talk a little bit about the functionalities which are available to you with the front-end editor, which is the new ABAP editor. So let us now talk a little bit about it. So the editor has a line number margin next to the editor margin where the line number is displayed, which is not the case with the old one. You can see it right here, and the code changes are marked with the red rectangle against the line number. So if you say, for example, change the code, and then I'm sorry, if you change the code a little bit, like you can write as you can see, this small rectangular triangular shaped icons are used to show the code changes which you make to the report. The status bar displays the current status of the code. So yeah, you can have a look at different um, the column and line number. The line number, the column number, where your current cursor is. The vertical scroll tip provides information about the current scroll position, and within the code, current function class or method. So it'll give you information about which report you are in currently, and well, you can split the screen. As a matter of fact, I'm not able to show you right here because it needs to be. Say your code is a huge. Let's take a huge. Let's take a small example. Just to give you an example, like let's use this example. Say you have a huge number of code, and what you can basically do is you can go ahead and split the screen into two. So there's a two individual tool area, so you can manage and write the codes into both of this and check the codes. So you have this functionalities too, and this tool works kind of individually. Well, you can collapse or expand blocks of code such as if and else. So you can basically, for better visibility, you can collapse the blocks of code for case and case, if and if. And the status bar of the editor displays the current status of caps lock, num lock, and other keys. And well, the front-end editor basically, let's close this up and let's talk a little bit more about the editor. Let's delete this. Which there you go. No, there are more. It. Whoa. Okay, perfect. So in the next video, we are going to talk a little bit about the different context menu which are available, and we'll continue with this lesson and talk a little bit about the BAP Workbench tools in a little bit details, and talk about the packages and their attributes, the transport organizer, and finally we'll have a look at the enhancement information system to wrap up this chapter. So yeah, I mean, like I'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for you to have latest videos which I upload, and see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching, and peace.